Try to hurry up because our time is far much spent.
My name is Kokunda Angel. We are here to present a dance titled Education.
My name is Ainembabazi Angel Tracy.
My name is Patricia Ahimsiwe.
My name is Ayerza Diaro. Good evening. My name is Asima Smith. We are presenting a dance titled Education.
And my name is Eric Walker. Yeah. Be blessed as you listen and as you watch.
I'll see you in detention. 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 I'll see you in detention. Detention. Detention.
Education is a must, is a must, is a must. Abana basome, uno mulembezi gwa batasoma. Tole simbi usasule, balizi kudiza bwe balizi weza. Oba wana nti wazala bawavu, bawavu nyonge mivule. Oba wana nti wazala bamanyi, bamanyi nyo. Basomese bafune amagezi balikola ebyamagero twala abana basome uno mulembe batasoma twala abaana basome bakuguke mu byonna bye twalemwa twala abaana bayige bateseze kwagalikule mugezi bangudo za kuzimbibwa nga baprofessional mugezi bantingo za kuwanyibwa nga baprofessional ekibansango kale kisalikuli nga baprofessional bwekubakwana kale tulwanyise nga baprofessional.
Another round of applause to these young people. So when I told you these people were incredible, some of you thought I was telling lies. Now you have observed this. And hey, we are promising you, we shall have such kind of young, great, leaders come in and then inspire us. We have many of them behind right there. So during time for interludes, we shall have these people come in. Right about now, let's clap as they go back. Okay, so like I told you already earlier that we shall enter into a little bit of great, interaction and this, discussion on what matters really. So permit me to invite Mr. Gaster to come and invite the team from Parliament to speak to us. Let's clap our hands as we welcome him.
Thank you, Deacons. Hello, everybody. So yesterday, as you remember, there were lots of formalities. We were here in ties and suits. The beauty is the formalities are over. It's now time to have a bit of fun and relax a little bit. So for the rest of the tournament, please maximize the fun. We have a team from the Parliament of Uganda here. Those of you who know the history of this championship, you know that we have worked with the Parliament since 2010. The first time the Parliament of Uganda hosted students debating in the House and engaging with members of Parliament was in 2010. And since then, it's been like a culture to engage in the House, to go and tour, but also give you opportunity to have interaction with members of Parliament and debate on key issues. Last year, I think I remember the debate was on how government can leverage technology to promote transparency and accountability in the public sector. And I think a bit of that was discussed yesterday on the TAC panel. So it's my pleasure this afternoon to welcome a wonderful team from the Parliament of Uganda. Aggie, who moved on from being a colleague to more like a sister. We've been together that long, and she's leading a wonderful team. She'll come and introduce the team, and then spend a few minutes to share a few things about Parliament. Welcome, Aggie. Please welcome her with a hand clap. And those of us who got some souvenirs, some notebooks from the exhibition should be clapping even harder, because when Parliament comes, they don't just come empty-handed. Welcome, Aggie.
Good evening, debaters. Good evening, debaters. Yes, I really want to hear that voice from you. We are really excited as Parliament of Uganda to be here with you. One, to interact with you, the young people, because you are the future leaders of tomorrow. And also to tell you a little more about Parliament and what Parliament does. I know you've had literature, you have read about it, but it is okay for us to even have that interaction. So that's why you see we have a very big team here from Parliament. Allow me to introduce my colleagues as we shall be listening to your questions and trying to answer them as honestly as possible. I have Mr. Odon Samuel. I have Mr. Odon James. I have Mr. Onanyang Alex and Miss Irene Maris Ajirong. So we are here to give you an overview of Parliament. Now, without wasting your time, allow me to just go through. I'm sorry, this time around we are not doing a PowerPoint presentation, but I will just give you a brief overview. I'll give you an overview of Parliament of Uganda, and in this overview we shall basically have the legal basis, how does Parliament come to be, the history of Parliament of Uganda, the composition of the 11th Parliament, how Parliament operates, and the law-making process. Now, all of us ask ourselves, when we hear or when we heard about the word Parliament for the first time, why is it called a Parliament? First of all, Parliament comes from the word parler. It's a French word, which means to speak. So that's where we derive the word Parliament. So Parliament is all about speaking, talking, debating like you people, okay? And it is from that we derive the definition of Parliament as a national body with representatives. And it is one that has a supreme legislative powers of the state, okay? We have three arms of government. We all know we have the legislature, we have the judiciary, and we have the executive. Now, Parliament is the legislature. And one of its most cardinal roles is, one of the things that it is the supreme body that makes our laws. So it is composed of representatives elected by the people. And being an arm of government, we derive our powers from the Constitution. And one of the articles where we derive the powers is Article 77(1) of the Constitution, that says there shall be a parliament. And this parliament shall last 5 years. And what are the roles? When you go further in Article 79, it states, the parliament shall have powers to make any matter, to make laws on any matter for the peace, order, development, and good governance of the country. That is the major role of Parliament, is to make laws. Then, it also has a duty to protect the Constitution and promote democratic governance. Now, apart from legislation, Parliament of Uganda appropriates the budget. How many of you have heard of the budget being read in Uganda? Which month do you usually have here that the budget is being made, being read? I beg your pardon? Yes, in June. Usually our financial year runs from June to June. June to June. So that is when we usually have our budget being read. Now, there is that's another process that I can take you through on how the budget is being made. Because there is no way in Uganda that there is the Parliament of Uganda, our budget is a cycle. As the new budget is read, the process for the next budget begins. You will learn more about that. Then Parliament does an oversight role. You've heard of the Public Accounts Committee. You've heard of committees asking questions on how funds of government have been used. They could be on a committee on education, committee on health, but mostly they invite the public officers, including head by their ministers, and then inquire about how the funds that were allocated to these particular ministries are being utilized. Then you've also heard of question time. Who has heard of question time in Parliament? Yes, that is the time when also members of Parliament exhibit their oversight role. For example, if there is a road that has potholes, members will come on floor during question time and ask the Prime Minister why certain roads are not well built and have potholes and they cannot be mended. So that is all about oversight. Now, the representation role, these members of Parliament are responsible to come back to us. They represent us. First of all, we elected them to represent our views. So therefore, they owe us a responsibility to consult from us and to give us feedback. So you will find on so many occasions when Parliament breaks off and the Speaker requests members to go back to their people and probably educate them about the laws that have been passed and also seek more views on certain issues that may be discussed before Parliament. The other roles that are more silent, that are not very prominent like the four cardinal ones, members of Parliament vet the appointment of persons nominated by the President. Now, it is not automatic that when a person is nominated by the President to be a minister, they become ministers automatically. Okay? So when the President nominates someone, and say, let me say my colleague James has been nominated to be the Minister of Education. Before he's announced to be the Minister, and believe me or not, these arms of government work together. The President will now switch and nominate James as Defense Minister instead of Minister of Education. So they are vetted, and when approved, they recommend to the President, and then they go through the formalities of swearing in. They swear in to be ministers, and then they also swear in. If you have not been a member of Parliament before, you will swear in twice. You will swear in to be minister, that is on the executive side. At the same time, you will come and swear in as a member of Parliament in Parliament. But what does that mean? If you are not elected by the people to be a member of parliament, and you're just nominated to be a minister, then we call you an ex-officio member of parliament. Okay? I hope I'm clear about that. You become an ex-officio. Now, ex-officio members of parliament do not have a right to vote in parliament. Reason, very simple. They were not elected by the people. Okay? So we in parliament, the current composition, we also have ex-officios. We have ex-officios with us, and yeah. So as we go ahead, we also have members of parliament meet and hold consultative meetings with their constituents to update them on the activities of parliament and government policies. So the other one is that members mobilize constituents to support and participate in government programs. So please, when your member of parliament comes to you and says, we need to, participate in a government program, could be immunization, could be, let us fully participate. Now, I think I'm talking too much, and I'm not used to talking too much. So maybe it is proper I get questions from you and I do the answer session. We do question and answer session. Is that okay? Those who are pro that, please put up your hand. And those who propose that I continue the lecture the way I'm doing it also should put up their hands. Okay, we have one person, and those for the answer question? Question, answer, question. Okay. So I think we do the question, answer sessions so that I am able to hear your voices as well as, so that we can interact fully. I can see my friend there sleeping. I think he had a, Okay, can we have questions from the students, and then we, the team here, will be in position to answer, please?
Stand up. Okay. I am Pande Emmanuel. My question is, I heard you talk of oversight. And I was trying to recall and pick up events. One time, Katuntu was, I think, heading Kosase, Honorable Katuntu, I'm sorry, was heading Kosase. And they were running the Bank of Uganda saga. I don't know why it ended, if they did oversight. And if they got evidence, what happened? Then the next question is that you talked of representation and talked of ministers as ex-official, but then you never talked of UPDF. I never hear UPDF in parliament. So are they there as ex-officials? Or they are there to keep security? I don't know why they are there. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Can we have a row of three and then we answer them at once?
Thank you very much. My name is Aeleza Crispus. So I have one question. Lately, previously, the Parliament of Uganda started regional sittings. And we were in northern Uganda. But I'm not aware if you were proceeding with your sittings or if your goal were achieved. Because you started these sittings due to the fact that you wanted maybe to extend the fact of representation of the people of Uganda at their utmost closer to the government, to the parliament. So I don't know whether your goals were really achieved. Thank you.
Another question?
Thank you. My name is Nyanzi Abdul, also known as Kisan. But my question is, if we still have corrupt officials, like let's take an example of Anita Amongo, where she gets, she scandals things like Mabati, if we still have corrupt officials in government and they are caught, why do they still represent us in parliament?
Thank you very much. I'm Richard. My question number, okay. We are told we have to be raised by old people. Whatever they teach us, it's what we should take. We have grown seeing the leaders in the government are corrupt, stealing, doing everything. So my question is, should we youth also start corruption? Or another question, if you are saying you need youth in the parliament, because I've seen you are taking old people to represent old people. So don't you really think you need youth representative in the parliament? Thank you.
Thank you so much. I think most of the questions have been tampered with, but so far there is an issue that arose over recent. We hear that the Parliament of Uganda is proposing that at least from next year, the fees of different schools be paid to URA. Is it true or it is a lie? And what are the reasons for that?
Let's do a balancing behind and come back.
Thank you very much. My name is Eric Walker, Selumaga. Mine is a very simple question. What is the cause of this too much fighting in the parliament, the boxing, like it is a boxing ground, wrestling, something like that?
I kindly request we take one more question. We answer that, then we can take another round of questions.
Thank you so much. My name is Joseph. I am a citizen of the Republic of Uganda who is concerned about the way Parliament uses the 1 trillion they give it. One, the Parliament Speaker has blocked inquiries of the Equal Opportunities Commission into the salaries they pay to you and the technical staff, the allowances that they pay to members of parliament, the allowances that go to the husbands and relatives of those that hold offices in parliament. So what is the parliament doing about it? Let's talk solutions, because I don't think the speaker is going to keep pushing accountability away the way she's doing. What are you doing about it to be more accountable to the people that elected you?
Okay, let's first answer that set of questions. I'll ask Alex to join me here. Alex will be answering the question on the composition of parliament. James will answer questions on youth representation, and Irene is going to answer. Okay, more questions are coming in. Now, let me talk about the regional parliament. Why did we have the regional parliaments? It's the same thing you're asking me here. Why am I here? One, I'm bringing parliament closer to you, the young people. And how am I bringing parliament closer to you? One, I'm here to explain to you what your parliament does and what you should expect from your members of parliament, what you should hold them accountable for. And that is why I'm telling you about the roles of a member of parliament. So I'm trying to get you closer to your parliament so that you understand the nitty-gritties about your parliament. That in any case somebody wants to stand as a member of parliament, you ask them the relevant questions. You do not ask them for sugar, for soap, for irrelevant questions whether they will build your roads, because that's not their duty. Now, come to the regional parliaments. The reason why Parliament decided to have these regional parliaments is to be an all-inclusive parliament, to take parliament closer to the people and be able to listen to their grievances. Yes, you may say not all people in Gulu were able to attend the parliamentary session, but their leaders at council level were there. And they opened up and talked about their grievances. So these regional parliaments are to bring parliament closer to you so that you can interact with them. By the way, as parliament was sitting, that was not the only activity in Gulu. As they were sitting, we had other sessions with the public. We had community engagements. We had healthy care camps. We had so many other activities that were geared towards the people. So we were trying to get members of parliament in the different sectors, say those who are professionals in health, formed a health camp, and they were treating people free of charge. So it is one way, regional parliaments, it's a way that parliament comes closer to its people, and they do it to understand the grievances of the people. Are we going to have one, the only one that happened in Gulu? No. We are going to have more of these regional parliaments. You're yet to see them. If we are in North, you'll see us another time in the East, you'll see us in the West, you'll see us in Central, you'll see us. And even if it needs be to make them so minute that we get them to parish levels, it will so be it, as long as the people demand for it. Then about, my dear young people, there is something that has really beaten my mind. Social media these days is so rampant, and not everything that comes onto social media is the gospel truth. There are a lot of lies, there is a lot of propaganda on social media. I'm now telling you this because now I know the truth. So someone will come to you and say, the speaker has swindled trillion money. Do you know how much a trillion is? Can one really swindle a trillion? It is a lot of money. It is a lot of money. Even if you gave it to a ministry, it may fail to a ministry, it may fail to do all, to finish up. That money will even remain after they have done all their work plan and all their activities. So what I'm trying to say is, whatever you've been hearing on social media that the speaker is corrupt, she swindles money, is not the truth. Our speaker holds people who swindle money accountable. And I'm telling you this because I am there. I'm a technical staff. I'm impartial. You know, I'm telling you this as an impartial person. He cannot, because he does not even have access to any money. Monies in parliament are managed by technical people, and they go through proper channels and they are accounted for. If there is any procurement to be done, it has to go through PPDA. I don't know whether you understand me. I know you will say, no, you're lying. Yeah, but what I'm telling you is the truth. The speaker does not have access to money, and therefore she cannot swindle money. This money, she only puts the technical staff accountable to account for that money. And I believe she's doing her job very well. So those are hearsays. Then the other thing about fighting in parliament. But guys, I believe we are all human beings. Let us be human. And this is not the first parliament that you have seen people losing temper. Several other parliaments also people lose temper. So if it happens, well, yes, we all accept it's an indiscipline. And the members who are such indisciplined to fight in the Chamber of Parliament are indeed punished. You saw the most recent where the Speaker punished Honorable Zake and Honorable Ako. She punished them and suspended them for 3 good sittings. Do you know what it means for the Speaker to suspend you for 3 good sittings? You know these members of Parliament, okay, it brings me to how much members of Parliament earn. These members of Parliament, you see, earn according to the number of work they do. Now, if you're suspended for 3 good sittings, remember, you're not only suspended from the chamber, you are suspended from stepping in the precincts of Parliament. It means you will not attend any committee of Parliament, and your allowances are derived from that committee sitting. Every time you sit on a committee, that's when you're given an allowance. Now, there is a notion that members of Parliament earn a lot of money. It's a very big, what can I call it? I don't know how to call it, but it's a mischief. It's a very big mischief. Yes, I can do the breakdown for you for a member of Parliament and how much they earn. Yes, I can do it for you. Yes, I can do it for you. First of all, you elect members of Parliament all the way from Arua to come to Kampala to liberate on your behalf. Right? I'm assuming now those who voted that one for Arua, okay? Because that is the farthest. How do you expect your member of Parliament? First of all, the basic salary of a member of Parliament minus the taxes is 6 million. I'm telling you, now I'm breaking down for you. I'm breaking down for you. Now put the 6 million aside, okay? Now your member of Parliament has to travel from Arua to Kampala to come and deliberate. Remember, you voted him from Arua. It means that his home is where? In Arua. So the government has to provide a transport allowance to that MP. Now, transport allowance, how much is a liter of fuel? How much is a liter of fuel? 4.5. It's 5.5. It's 5,000. Yeah, because a petrol car, we take the highest. A petrol car, it's 5,500. So how many kilometers are from Arua to Kampala? How many kilometers are from Arua to Kampala? How much fuel can you use from Arua to Kampala? Okay, your member of Parliament deliberates 3 times a week, okay? It means he travels twice, comes to Kampala on Monday, goes back on Friday. So those are 2 times. Calculate the fuel. Times the liters, it could be 200 liters. Yes. 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 Calculate the liters. Okay, now after you have done that, add it to the 6 million. Go ahead. Your member of Parliament, will your member of Parliament sleep on the street when they come to Kampala? No, they will not. So you have to find a decent accommodation for your MP. So they are given a small allowance for accommodation. So after that, add, is your member of Parliament going to stay hungry? So you add the lunch and, yes. So at the end of the day, when you look at it, the salary of a member of Parliament is not that much. It may look as a lump sum to be too much, but it is not much. Because the highest member of Parliament will be paid 25 million. With all those, yes, But all that money will be spent on transportation, because it is the allowances that make it look big. But this money is also subjected to a tax, remember? 60%. So at the end of that day, their take home is very minimal. But because we Ugandans think that these members of parliament earn a lot of money, and that's why we always ask them for petty things instead of putting them accountable to do the work we sent them to do in parliament. So if you think, then you start telling your member of parliament, please pay my school fees. Really? Why wouldn't he take advantage of you when he can? Get the money, pay your school fees, and say, now I paid your school fees, can you vote me? You have to vote me because I've paid your school fees. So the earlier we learn that we should look at our country as a country of opportunities and a country of responsibility and love it. The moment we love our country, then we shall be in position to elect members of parliament who will be of substance to us. I will ask, okay, there was someone who talked about fees or your school fees to be deposited in URA. My brother, that is not true. It cannot happen. Because you see all these schools of yours, they pay a tax. They pay a tax every time, I don't know, every month. I know they pay a tax. I'm not so sure whether in a yearly or termly basis or monthly basis, but what I know is that your schools pay a tax, and there is no way that government can ask schools to pay your school fees through URA. It will not happen. Yeah, maybe let me invite Alex to come and tell you more about the representation.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. I hope you're having a wonderful afternoon. Thank you very much, my colleague, Agi, for trying to bring out how the young generation is misinformed through social media. I hope for those who are very attentive, you really understood where all these issues come from. Now, about the composition of parliament. Meanwhile, currently, we have 557 members of parliament. And of the 557, according to our constitution, I hope you know what the constitution is, specifically Article 71(1). Each county in Uganda should be having a member of parliament. Each district and city should be having a representative. Then again, the person who was asking about the youth are represented in parliament. The army is represented in parliament. And their composition is, for the UPDF, for them they have 10 slots. The youth, we have 10 slots. Then we have the people with disabilities with 5 slots. Then we have even the elderly also represented with 5 slots. Are we together? Then I heard a whisper, somebody asking about the ex-officials. In parliament also, we have a category of members referred to as ex-officials. And these are ministers appointed by the president, but they're not directly elected by the people. Are we together? Are we together? Hope you are communicating. Hello? Hope we are communicating. Not so? That is very clear. So all that totals to the 557 members of parliament. Then this is a kind advice to all of us. My senior colleague has talked about the misinformation on social media. It's good we have gone to very nice schools. Nice in the sense, schools that give you the wisdom and the knowledge you require to demystify any information. So kindly, before you make an opinion or any judgment on anything, specifically Parliament, for example, first do some research. Ask the people that are directly responsible on a given matter. Are we together? Other than that, I know we have a series of questions. My other colleague will come and iron out them accordingly. Thank you very much.
Wow. Thank you so much. My colleagues, debaters, I want to say good evening to you all. It's a pleasure to be here with you and to be part of this noble cause. Once again, my name is Samuel Odong. I want to add my voice to the voices of my colleagues, and specifically, I'm going to respond on the issue of the representation of young people who are the youth in the parliament. First and foremost, I want to bring to your attention that the youth, as my colleague highlighted, the youth are represented in the parliament under affirmative action. We have 5 youth representatives in the parliament, and the representation is in line, and they were elected from their respective regions. We have a representative of Western region who is on Rugumayo. We have the one of Eastern, he is called Honorable Odoi Bernard. We have for Central, she's called Honorable Kirabo. Then for Northern is called Honorable Okot Boniface. Then we have one position for the National Female Youth MP, represented by none other than Honorable Nyamutoro Fiona. So there is no doubt that young people are not given space. Young people are given space and they are represented in the Parliament of the Republic of Uganda. Besides that, besides the slots that are gazetted for the young people, there are also some constituencies being represented by people who are below 30 years of age. The woman MP of Kitugum, Honorable Abel Lillian, she's a former chairperson of the National Youth Council, and she's a young person. She falls still within the youth bracket. Young people who are here, I want to draw your attention that the majority of the voters that we have in this country are young people. When my young brother there say that, why are elderly people not allowing young people to go to parliament, I felt sad. Because what I know, to the best of my knowledge, all the power to determine who should become a member of parliament in all our respective constituencies where we come from, you find that it is young people who determine. But it's unfortunate that young people have avoided voting their fellow young people to represent them in the parliament. Then that question of asking why is it that young people are not represented in the parliament, it should be thrown back. That white elephant should be thrown back to you. Why are you not sending your fellow young people to parliament, yet you're the majority voters? If you went to all our constituencies during electioneering, you realize that the most powerful, influential people when it comes to campaigns is none other than young people. So it is upon us now. We have determined who should be in the parliament. We have voted for other people. It is high time we sit back to the drawing board and we think about our representation in the parliament. However, besides the parliament, we have other representations. In 1993, the National Unity Council Act was enacted. And the youth members of parliament were talking about, they are voted by the members of the National Unity Council. This National Unity Council of Uganda is a body elected by young people, and purely they are representatives of young people in the country. I know time is not our ally, but I want to implore you as young people, we are not only leaders of today, you are not leaders of tomorrow, but you are leaders of today and tomorrow. As far as your representation is concerned, it is you to play, to have an uphill task to see to that you vote people within your age bracket to represent you in the parliament if you want an increment. Asante sana, I wish you well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Samuel. So as you can see, I know we have so many questions, but I'm being told we have another debate that is going to take place. So I had prepared a presentation of around 10 minutes, and I will give that presentation to my brother Augusta. I know he will pass it on to your forums, and you'll be in position to read. Now, on that presentation, you will see we have our Twitter, Facebook, X, Instagram pages. We kindly request you, throw all those questions that you have to us, and we shall be in position to answer you individually. I pledge that. Please hold me accountable if I don't do that. I know some of you had prepared questions for me in relation to one of the questions that had been set in your exams. And Augusta, kindly allow me just to mention I know the question was about the offices of Parliament and what they do, right? That was the question. In Parliament, we have 5 offices. And which are these offices? 1, the office of the Speaker. Now, the office of the Speaker entails the office of the Deputy Speaker, and their roles are the same. Okay? We have the office of the Leader of Opposition. We have the office of the Leader of Government Business. We have the office of the Clerk and the Sergeant at Arms. Those are the 5 offices we have in Parliament. Now you will ask me which office I fall. I fall under the office of the Clerk. Now under the office of the Clerk, first of all, we should understand that the Clerk is the de facto Chief Executive Officer of Parliament. He's the one that is accountable to all the finances that are allocated to Parliament, not the politicians. It is the Clerk to Parliament. And the Clerk to Parliament has a very big team of technical officers that are working under him. 1, we have a legal department. We have a department for research. How many of you want to become lawyers? Yeah, those who want to be lawyers can work in the legal department, they can work in the research department. We have research department, we have the budget office. Now the budget office is the one that spearheads the formation of the budget, but guides members of parliament. So, to round it up, in parliament, the technical staff are there to give technical guidance to members of parliament. And the roles of the speaker are very prominent. You know them, okay? She chairs the parliamentary sessions. That is number one. So, as I said, we have prepared a paper, and this paper we shall give it to my brother Guster, and we'll put it on your forum so that you are able to understand some of these things. I know sometimes when we are all here, we do not go into details of these things that happen in Parliament. But please throw in your questions and hold me accountable for those answers. Thank you. Thank you very much. Hey, I'm sorry, I'm being held accountable. Why you guys are not coming to Parliament this time round? I must apologize, young ladies and gentlemen. I apologize to you that this time round we will not be in position to visit our Parliament and to give you a treat like we normally do. And the reasons: one, we are renovating our chambers. That is number one. Number two, we do not, our leaders, the members of Parliament that we debate with, are not there. They are for the East African Games. And you know what normally happens. When we meet for these East African Games, the benefits are immense, because we have members of Parliament from all these regions, the 8 countries come together, you know, to get to know each other, and in that position they can rally together and form common laws that can help us as East Africans. So we are looking beyond just Uganda. Let's look at East Africa as a whole. We are looking at a situation when one of you will travel to Kenya or Tanzania or Rwanda and be able to present yourself as an East African and get a job. You understand that? So these are things that we are working on. But anyway, we promise we are working out a mechanism, and those who emerge out winners, I'm telling you, I'm waiting for you at Parliament. We are going to wait for you. The Right Honourable Speaker is waiting for you, and she will give you a treat. She will give you a treat. She will welcome you well. You'll have a personal interaction with her. You'll ask her the questions you really want to ask. She will answer them amicably to you, and you'll be in position to interact with your speaker as Right Honourable Anita Among. She loves you people. We send greetings. She sent you greetings. She loves you very much. She loves the young people. And usually your agenda from the debate, she looks at it as she looks at it as first priority and takes every word that you say into account. So please bear with us this time round. Forgive us. But next time, we shall do better. Thank you.
Right. Let's give a round of applause to the team from the Parliament.